Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Robert and Jason Shortley with the world famous Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour. Hey, so we never talk about flipping. So we're going to talk about flipping. Before we get into that, again, want to thank everyone who's listening to us at night here. We sure do appreciate you guys checking us out. And we'd love to see you at our building. We have a big white building that says Real Estate Investment Center on it. And you're welcome to come out to all our events. So go to mrtxre.com. mrtxre.com. You go to event page, you'll find a bunch of stuff. So while we don't talk a lot about flipping, we do flip here and there, a little bit now. But mostly if we're getting them deep enough to flip, then we're getting them deep enough to really hold. And so let's just go through some basic numbers on this. Right now in Houston, I think a good flip is going to be picked up for about $200,000. We looked at it today, and maybe you're going to have about $100,000 worth of work, and then from there you're going to be able to sell between $380,000 and $400,000. And so that's going to give you a 75%. 78% deal, but there's going to be a little money on the back end.
You'll lose money at 78%.
Well, I mean, you're not going to make the big number you think you're going to make. And so if we can get that thing at 75 and we're looking at it, we're like, well, what's the rent on it?
Even that's really tight. Like,
you
you really got to be 70%. Really got to be. This is why you say this all the time. You'll make money on your first one.
Yep.
Then you break even on the second one. Then you lose all your money that you made on the first one, on the third one. And then you go to the fourth one, and then you're complete. It is 70% all day long. There's no fudging the numbers. Like you're either renting it or you're not. Flipping's a lot harder.
That's what I'm getting to is at 75%, it works all day long as a rental.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. As long as it cash flows, right?
Yeah. So as long as it cash flows and you're going to get the refi, there shouldn't be a problem. You're moving forward. Now.
But you ain't buying rentals at 75% either.
No, we're not.
Yeah. Just nobody is. Let's be honest out there. If folks are really buying rentals at 75% all day long, you'd have a 500 house portfolio in like a month.
Right.
And nobody's doing that. So come on, guys.
Well, they're not finding them.
Yeah. So
I'm just wondering, out there. We're flipping a house right now, and we're doing the add-on. We're going to be teaching that tonight here. So we got another flip going on down south, right? So you're going to have to find these things pretty deep. And then when you do find it deep, then you're like, well, what should I do? Should I sell it and take the cash and give away the equity, or do I sit on it for another 5 years as a rental? And so that becomes a decision that most folks have to make. At least in our world. Hey, I got this thing for $150. It needs $50,000 worth of work. It's worth that number. You're going to be worth, $260, $270. Do I flip it or do I hold it? And the answer is always going to be hold. Now, the deeper you get that property, here becomes the problem. So, all right, Robert, I got the property now at 100, and I'm putting 50 in, and it's worth 250. Do I flip it now? Like, well, now it's even a better rental, because you're sitting on the equity. And so for the folks that are out there talking about...
No, you're still losing money. You got to be in for all 175 at 250.
That's what I said, 100 and 150.
And 50. Oh, okay. I thought you said like 150. I was like you got to
No, you're all in at 150
so
on
deep.
250.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the problem that we're having in this marketplace is, despite the doom and gloom of everyone out there, it is still not a buyer's market. And we're still looking at some pretty high numbers. So if you're going off market, if you're finding these deals, great. That's fantastic. So again, what's the last flip we're doing? Oh, we're doing one right now. So we're in at 170, and we think it's $90,000 worth of worth. So that's 260, and we think the ARV is 350.
But we also bought that thing 2 years ago.
No, I understand.
It's like,
well, someone's buying it, was going to buy it from us, and the deal fell through.
That's true.
So,
but if you look at the stuff that's on the market in that area, they're selling for almost 200. Teardowns are like 200,000.
Yeah, sure.
I looked today. I was looking in one of the areas we're making. I got to figure out wherever Kate's at, but we got an offer out on 2 properties over there, and I was looking at lot value. I'm like, so what is lot value closing at? And in the last 180 days, that's how you run comps. Lots are selling for about 150, but lots are listed at 350. So no one's buying any of that to do new construction. It's still sellers in this weird pipe dream, but nobody's ever paid 350 for them. So there's just some of this stuff where it's like it's just fantasy land.
Well, we just bought one for $125, $90,000, and it appraised at $320. That's a flip.
320 at 70s, 210. What are we in for?
210, 215.
Still, oof. Here's the other thing too. When I get into flips, those comps you have to scrutinize so hard. Where's it at? Is it a hard corner? Is it on a corner? Is it cul-de-sac? What's the house look like on either side? You looked at one. I sent you an address. You went and looked at it, and you're like, yeah, this house might be worth 300, 325, 350 grand, but for the house next door. So it's flipping is a lot more than just the numbers. You really got to go out there and look at these things. And, if it's got a weird elevation, I'll never forget there's a neighborhood in Kingwood that are contemporary homes and colonial homes. And then there's the random mid-century modern house thrown in, like every 1 in 10. So you're like, okay, well, what's it worth? Well, I don't know. This one sold for this. It's like, well, that's 2 blocks away, different elementary school. I mean, flipping is a tough business. And that's why it's so much better to just buy them as rentals and then just wait. They appreciate another 50, 60, 80 grand. And then you go and sell it. And you sell it and you're like, make $150,000, maybe you sell it a little less than retail. But flipping is way, way harder than being a landlord.
Yeah.
Way harder.
But that doesn't mean people aren't flipping.
Let me put it this way. I'm in a lot of groups. I talk to a lot of guys. There may be people flipping where they were doing 50 homes a year 2 years ago or a year ago, and they're doing 6.
I would say you're down to less than a dozen.
Yeah, they're down to like 4 or 5. Yeah, I'm a flipper. And, I talked to last month at the Property and Pints happy hour, which is the one we host. I was chatting with a buddy of mine. This guy's a serious player in this marketplace. I mean, he knows what he's doing. And he's like, Jason, we're down to like 15%, 20% of the volume we used to do. So it's this market. I mean, you can see it. Active listings are down. Sales are on a month over month basis are up. People are just not listing their homes. There's less inventory out there. And one of the things he told me, he does mostly off market. One of the things he told me is he's like, man, there's a lot less stuff out there off market than there has been in the past. I'm just like, I'd reach out to those guys and see what their cost per lead is these days and cost per close and all that. And I don't know, would I flip a house below $400,000? That's a good question. Ooh. I don't know if I would flip a house below 500 grand. Because the problem is that construction costs are so out of control right now that you really need to make a 20% margin. So on a $500,000 house, you should make about 100 grand. Well, cut that in half. Let's say it's $50,000. You're flipping a $250,000 house. I mean, you can have a sub-slab plumbing issue that costs you $6,000-8,000. Roof could double in price, and then all of a sudden your profit margin just got cut in half.
Hey, guys, stay tuned. We'll talk more about this when we come back from the break. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Jason and Robert here with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Mastermind. Oh, the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour. Not my mouth. So we're talking about flipping because inevitably people are still coming up to us and they're going out there and flipping.
Yeah.
So where's the price point?
Well,
$500,000, 600.
Here's what I'd ask: how many did you flip this year? What's your gross margin?
Yeah.
What's your net margin?
I flipped absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I have some money and I watched all the HTV. So what do you recommend?
Nothing. I have nothing to recommend to you. Actually, this is what I do. How much money do you have?
I have $100,000.
Great. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to set up a Pat Live account. You're going to spend $5,000 a month in yellow postcards. Mm-hmm. And you're going to send those out to non-owner occupants for houses that are $500,000 and above. $500,000 to $1 million. and you're going to spend $20,000 to $30,000 in postcards before you get your first deal. Now you're going to keep mailing these people and keep mailing and keep mailing, but you will probably be 50 grand in little yellow postcards.
Yeah.
Before you ever close on the sale on something.
Yeah, but I don't want to wholesale, Jason. I want to flip houses like on TV.
That is flipping houses. That's
really?
That's how it works. I mean, I had a company. We did this 150 of these a year. There's a reason I don't do it anymore. there's a big reason, and that's one. There's a couple of other ways to do it, but here's the problem. Let me guess, Rob. This guy's a W-2 guy at some oil and gas firm, and he's going to do this part-time 5 hours a week.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I slaughtered guys like that. You would spend $5,000, $10,000 in little yellow postcards. Your wife would get pissed at you because you've got no backbone. That's really what it is. You don't have any backbone to tell her, no, we're doing this. You get a lead. You're stuck in some nonsense meeting. It takes you 2 days to go out and look at the house, and by then, I've already been there, got under contract. This is for professionals. This is not for, I'm going to kind of figure it out, do some back of the napkin. This is for professionals. Like especially in this environment, there's so many guys that are really good and they're starving for deals.
Yeah.
You're telling me you're such a bright guy, you're going to do 10 of those this year? Yeah, I don't think. And then who's going to do the rehab? Who's doing the rehab?
Well, yeah, don't do that.
Which is the hard part. Like, it's not only who could do the rehab, but who can do the rehab at the price point and at the standard for that neighborhood. Because you got to remember, you're doing $500,000 to $1 million houses. That's not the same guys that are doing your rental properties.
Yeah, it's not our cookie cutter stuff.
No, it's not our cookie cutter stuff either. We've got one crew that can do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's an entirely different business model. I don't even. Well, let me go back to what you should. If you're really going to work that hard, just become a real estate agent. Like, just become a real estate agent and sell $500,000 to $1 million homes. So $500,000 house, you make what, 15 grand?
If that's not their motivation, they want to get on. They want to be like on TV.
That's right. Yeah, they want to look like, oh, I'm in show business. Like, okay, well, if that's what your ego says, I'm going down this study right now, and I actually fell asleep in my office while I was reading it. That you should only make the amount of money or the wealth you need to meet your goals, and not a penny more. Because a penny more is that covert narcissism. It's like, I got to be the richest. I got to be. And it's like, why? Like, you've got to validate your goals based off what other people think of you. And I'll tell you right now, you will never be successful with that formula. So it's like, look, what are you trying to accomplish? And it's the hardest thing. And this is why everybody signed up, like you were joking yesterday. Everyone signed up to go to my class about the Portfolio Builders tool.
Yeah.
Like 30 people signed up for that, and 2 signed up for your mental stuff, right?
I'm still kind of joking today too, but
I know.
Okay,
But
keep going.
But it's like, okay, so you've got the tool, now what? Okay, now what?
It doesn't. No,
I'm
they
just-
can't make a decision still.
They can't. I cannot wait for the mastermind this weekend. Like, I cannot wait, and it's just going to be like, okay, you got this and this and this. Now what?
Okay, well, we sit down at least twice a month. We'll get someone. Yeah, I know, but I don't have enough money, so I'm going to go ahead and start trying to flip some houses.
Yeah, how are you going to do that, man? Because flipping houses is way more
Is there
capital
any way
intensive.
to flip a house part time?
Sure. I mean, a couple
Poorly.
a year. Well, let me put it this way: if I went back into the private sector, got a W-2 job, I could do it because I've already got all the contacts. I've got all.
Yeah.
But Joe Blow off the street, come on, man. Most of you guys that listen to this show, you do well. You make good money. Mm-hmm. You got a family. The kids are in. One kid's in cheer. The other one's in baseball. You're busy all weekend with You don't have the time for this stuff. You really don't.
So if I'm at a $500,000 ARV, why can't I do a 75% flip?
Because your margin's too thin. You will eventually get caught. It's too thin.
It's still a lot of money.
Well, at some point you're going to take let's see, you will hit the seasonality in a marketplace.
Go through it.
Okay, so $500,000 house. So $100,000 in $100,000 in gross profit, right? Mm-hmm. You'll eventually get hit with the seasonality of a market. You'll take a 5%.
Okay, so $500,000. What's the closing cost and all that?
8%. No, I always do 9%.
Okay, so
45,000
$45,000 of the 100 is gone.
No, this is net. That's why I'm saying you got to buy it at 70%.
No, I'm saying buying at 75.
Yeah, but
on
buying at
$500,000.
75 doesn't work.
75% with rehab and
Well, let me put it this way. It works on paper till it doesn't.
I understand.
Well, here's what happens. Yeah, it works on this one deal.
Uh-huh.
But then you take a 5% haircut here because you got to sell it in the winter.
Okay, 25 grand.
You've got to, you get the, oops, we need to do the sub-slab plumbing. And, oh, by the way, the air conditioner, we really needed to replace that too. It's we didn't really get the market appreciation we thought we were going to get. It's all that stuff.
So let's go through the exercise. I have a $500,000 ARV.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm at a 75% ARV
All right.
deal.
So let's do this. Let's do
Yeah.
the 500K. 500. 500 times 0.75. That
Yeah.
puts you at 375.
Sure.
You're all in at 375.
So I bought it for 300 and I'm putting 75,000 in.
Okay. So you're at gross margins 125K.
Sure.
No carrying costs. No. So it takes you, we
So-
always budget 6 months of carrying costs.
Oh, wait, I got to pay for the carrying cost?
You got to pay for the carrying
Oh,
costs.
so what is that on 375? It's going to be at least
At least 20, let's,
$37.50 a month plus taxes plus, well, they take the taxes and insurance out for the first year. So you're going to be at $37.50 a month.
but you're not getting a 10%. That's not a 10%. You're probably at 15% at least. Taxes, insurance, HOA, all
Well,
that other
just
stuff.
do the math.
The 375 times 0.15 divided by 2. So you're at $28,000 in carrying costs.
Okay, so I want 125 was my gross. Now I'm down to 97.
Yeah, $97,000.
And then you
so
said the
500 times 0.9. I'm sorry, 0.09. That's $45,000 in closing costs.
Yep.
So you are now down to 50.
Yeah.
45
52.
minus 97.
52.
You're down to 52K.
Great.
That's perfect.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. We'll
But
do
you
two of
haven't-
those a year.
But I go for it, man. Tell me how long that lasts.
How much credit would you normally give on a house?
We were
I mean,
pretty
you're negotiating off of the 500. Right?
Maybe 0.5%. We were usually pretty good on the credit side. Here's what happened most of the time. We were flipping houses. The rehab was done so well, and we picked certain areas. We would set the new high comp. Our bigger problem was justifying the number. And this was back in 2013, 2014, 2015.
Sure.
This doesn't include what happened the last 2 years. So we would consistently be 5 to 10% above the market. And so we actually had to write into our contracts. This is the other reason you do 500K and above. We'd write into our contracts, you're responsible for the difference regardless of whether this appraises or not. And here's why you do those more expensive houses. And a lot of you guys can relate to this. Your wife has drug you to 900 properties at this point. And you're like, we paid a little bit more. Oh my God, it didn't appraise. What are we going to do? You just write the check for the difference because you don't want to look at another damn house.
All right, guys. Hang tight. We're going to come back from the break and we'll explain more why Jason is telling you to go flip houses. Hang tight. All right, bring us in.
Oh, welcome back, Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Mastermind. $52,000,
52,000.
assuming everything goes just fine.
Right.
Assuming you don't hold it for another 3 months. Assuming.
Okay, so we hold it for another 3 months. That's 11K.
All right, so now we're down to
Now we're down to 40.
$41,000. Assuming we got the budget just right. How many times does that happen where we're 10,
Never,
15,
but that's
20%? Okay. You're 20% over your budget. There's another 20K.
Oh, that's probably 15K. So
Yeah.
now we're down to 25,000.
$25,000
Yeah.
for 6 months worth of work, or 8 or 9 or
Be
whatever.
9
it is.
months, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it will come out to.
Assuming everything goes right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying you got to start at 70%.
That's still a good case scenario.
Yeah, that's a good case scenario.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's not the 5% markdown because you got to sell in the bad season.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not the.
Well, that's what we were talking about that the other day. Me and Travis were like, I'm going to close this house and I'm going to be ready in November. It's horrible
Yeah.
because this guy took forever to close.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. But anyway, if you guys want to flip, go for it. I'm just telling
So
you.
25,000, and you try and get 4 of those done a year. It's
Okay.
100K.
Yeah, it's 100K. It's 100K.
And then I'll go further. And then your wife is an agent.
But here's the problem. You only have 100K. So how are you going to do 4 in a year?
Well, I don't know. I'll go to Jet Lending. They say I can do it for no money out of pocket.
Well, that ain't going to happen. They're going to want 50%.
What? I can't go to Hard Money Guy and tell me to do it no money out of pocket?
They're going to want 50%. So
They'd argue that.
Oh, I'll argue right now with $100,000.
Yeah.
I'll text Rob right now. You send me 4 of those sheets.
Uh-huh.
I only have $100,000, and I'm going to perfectly do one every quarter.
Yes.
So you've got to remember, I'm going to do one first quarter.
Yes.
But it's going to take me 6 months.
Oh.
So I'm actually going to own 2 of these in the second quarter, right?
Uh-huh.
And I've got construction escrow going out for each one of them.
Well, I mean, there's a whole bunch of people out there saying they can get it done for no money.
I'd love to see it. Now they can do one, and it's not going to be at not at 75%. Mm-hmm. It's going to be at 65%.
65.
Yeah.
So that there must be alien now, right? Those guys like Net Worth and all those guys.
Oh yeah, they're totally selling
65% deals
easily. Yeah.
So your local wholesaler will give you a 65%.
Absolutely.
Deal. Got it.
Because he's got a landlord over there doing $500,000 houses that he'll pay 80. Sure, man. You live that dream. This is why I joke. Somebody said, hey, do you guys, when people start asking us in the 3-day, hey, do you do tax lien, whatever? Do you do this? Do you do that? And I'm like, look, by the time you...
Right. I could go and do the tax lien.
You sure can.
Right.
Yeah.
That's easy, right?
Absolutely should do that. So by the time you figure that out, we just bought 4 houses in this block.
Okay.
Or this is the other way I look at it. I'm like, hey, how about this? Here is what I will give you guys. Some of y'all have been listening to us for the last 6 months. Not in our mastermind, been to our class.
Yeah.
You're listening to other gurus. You're going to all the different clubs. Has your life changed in the last 6 months?
Mine is.
Well, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Talking about them. Yeah.
I'm talking about the them.
Got it, yeah.
It's the them out there.
The them, yeah.
So my question is, well, if it hasn't changed, then why did you sign up with all those other gurus? Now, if you're perfectly happy where things are in your life, then why do you keep listening to this nonsense?
Yeah, but I'm going to do all these different flips in different LLCs. And I signed up for that guy. I can do unlimited LLCs for the rest of my life.
Oh, that's right. I do remember. That's pretty funny. You can pierce the corporate veil of unlimited LLCs.
Unlimited LLCs. So then I don't have to worry about losing money.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know how that works exactly. You could just open up LLCs and not lose money? Okay. Someone sent me the link to that class.
I'm protected. No, I'm protected.
Yeah,
I'm protected, man. No, you don't understand, Jason. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a Wyoming LLC, but I'm going to hold it in a trust on an Indian reservation.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That sounds like it'll work.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
You know what? Do that for 6 months. Give me a call. Let me know how it works out. I would love to know how that works out.
All right. So if that doesn't work, then I should go buy self-storage.
Oh, yeah, you should.
Self-storage?
This is my standard answer. Dude, this came up at Pints and Properties on Friday.
For sure I should do self-storage.
I'm like, look, you can make money in all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Just pick one and go do it.
Got it. How about land banking?
I don't even know what that is.
Sounds good.
There's a bank you put land in?
Land. If you buy land, it pays you money every year.
Yeah.
No?
No. I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
I do know a lot of guys that make a lot of money from land, but they ain't doing it part-time.
So then I guess it's wholesaling.
I think that's would be great. Yeah, put me on your wholesale email list, and I'll take all your deals. I'll be glad to buy all your deals. We need to start that wholesaling group back up again, by the way.
Well, I think we do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's all so easy. Just show up and cash a check.
It must be.
Yeah.
We're the guys who are doing it wrong.
That's right. That is right. Mm-hmm. What? What do you want? What do you want from me?
Like, I'm trying to think of the next one.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of the next one. What else? Oh, I know. I can go out and take a whole bunch of credit cards, and this way it'll automatically pay down my debt.
Okay.
It's called velocity banking or something.
Oh.
If I take a lot of credit cards and roll it every month, it automatically pays down. I can get out of my own mortgage in 6 years.
Yeah.
By opening up credit cards.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we're smarter than the Citibank.
That's right.
Yep.
Because I'm sure they can't run quick check and find all your LLCs and all your credit cards in about 2.5 minutes.
Trying to think what else.
Get a promotion at work.
I can do rental arbitrage in Airbnb.
You know, there's a guy. Oh, so funny. I'm not going to say who posted on Facebook. There's an investor that's trying to get out of the business that has 25 Airbnb arbitrage and is looking to sell their business. And I immediately posted like a really confused look. How do you sell? That's 26 liabilities with no upside and limited amount of cash flow. Like, it made no sense to me at all. But they were selling it. Of course, I don't think anybody probably bought it. All he was saying is, I'm getting my butt whipped at Airbnb. Please, someone take over these leases. That's really what that
What do you think
like
the EBITDA is on that?
It's negative. Well, there's no depreciation.
Oh, how about that? That's the next big thing. I'm just going to go out and buy businesses, Jason.
Oh.
And we'll find people, and they'll give it to us.
Oh, that's right.
They'll give us their business.
They'll give us their cash flowing, amazing running business.
Yes.
It's an incredible business. It makes lots of money.
Yeah.
I don't want it
I can
anymore.
just go buy them because, I've done so well all my other businesses.
Yeah. Okay. That's one theory.
There was a lot of people on that cruise who were like,
oh, yeah?
go buy a business.
Go buy a business.
I'm like, how's the one you're working on right now doing?
Yeah. How's that? How's the one you own right now?
How's that going, guys?
Oh, it's not going well?
No.
So you think you can run somebody else's business in an industry you probably know nothing about?
And now the guy who was talking about it really just made it make a lot of sense. And I understand.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, like you said, hey, once you get to $5 million and annualized in your business, then you look to acquire. Mm-hmm. But if you're making less than $100,000 in your business and you think you're just going to go buy other businesses, I don't know how that works.
Man, what was the stat? Less than 80% of maybe even higher than that. 80-90% of businesses never
we saw that.
crack $1 million.
Yeah.
Like it's an incredibly low number. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like, well, what's your gross, right? I mean, that'll tell you kind of where they're playing at on the spectrum.
That's right.
And the vast majority of them, it's not even $1 million. All
right, hang tight while Jason will give us the next get rich quick idea. This is Robert and Jason Rover now, Mr. Texas Real Estate. Go to our website, mrtxre.com. We'll be back. Yep. Welcome back, everyone. Robert and Jason with the world renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour. So anyway, we're having some fun with Jason today. Shh, everyone. All right, so I'm trying to think what else we do. Oh, you could do arbitrage on boats and cars and planes, right? I mean,
right, here we go. So less than 15% of companies make over $1 million net revenue. So let me explain that, what that means. You have gross, and then the net is less cost of goods sold. That's not profit. Right. That's just right underneath COGS right there before all your overhead. So less than 15% make $1 million. So 85% chance you won't make it. So anyway. Here's the plan. I mean, I'll all right, what's the other scheme? What are we selling?
Trying to think.
Lottery tickets.
Gold.
Gold. Boy, that hadn't gone anywhere.
Silver. Crypto.
Crypto kind of blew up.
Well, I mean, Bitcoin's back up.
Whoa.
It went back up to 30,000, and I told the kid who had the money, sell the Bitcoin,
Bitcoin.
and buy real estate.
Yeah.
But why would he sell it, right? Now he thinks
I'm
he's
holding
back up.
on.
Holding
Yeah.
on, yep.
If you could tell yourself that when it was almost $70,000 2 years ago.
Even 50.
Jeez. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
Anyway, listen. If you really want to do this stuff, you want to get out of that 9-to-5 job, you're looking for your financial freedom, right? We think holding real estate, whether it's commercial or residential, is the best way to move forward in that. If you are still looking for some wild, crazy scheme, then yeah, keep going for it. That's awesome. But if you're ready to be serious, then you're going to go to callwithmrtxre.com. Callwithmrtxre.com. Sit down, have a conversation, and then here's the reality of this stuff. I think maybe you and I have known 4 or 5 people that have actually been able to do this with very little money. I won't say no money, but very little money. Mm-hmm. And it's it's a decade before they're standing up.
And they are hustling 24/7.
Yeah, they're not the average person. Yeah,
No, they don't have the money, but they've got a lot of time they can put into
and
it.
energy.
Yeah.
And so if you have some resources, you have a good FICO score, you have a good job, then let's go in and start buying some real estate. It's not going to be a flip. We just talked about that. It's not going to be a self-storage center. It's not going to be crypto or gold or any of that stuff or land banking or velocity capital or whatever all this stuff is. You just got to get in and do it. And before you can start buying some businesses, you're going to have to run some businesses. That's probably a good prerequisite. So you want to get into this, you want to start figuring this stuff out, call with mrtxre.com. We'll bring in so I was talking to our buddy with the car wash business.
Okay.
Yeah, it's as hard as anything.
Oh, the car wash business.
He's telling me the same stories that the problems he's having, we're having. It's across the board.
Yeah.
There's no difference. Can't find good people. Not enough, when you hire someone, if the grass is greener, they're jumping.
Yeah.
Right? So he's gotten a lot of that, guys. Can't find good construction guys. Mm-hmm. Like real serious problems there, right?
Oh, that's right. You guys had breakfast, didn't you?
Yeah, refi problems, right? It's like all the same stuff that everyone else is going through in all these other businesses. It's the same.
Yeah.
So we got a call from that guy who wanted to sell us that 16 unit. And we said, hey, here's the deal.
With the same, did he?
No, hold on, I'll tell you the story. So I said, here's the deal. We said at 8 to 9%, which would be a great find, we don't see these numbers working at your price. Our price is this. And he said, well, here's the guy who's getting some good loans.
I saw that email. It's pretty funny.
So we called him.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know anyone doing it below 9%.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Right. And he's like, there's one credit union in Houston that may be doing it, but every other regional bank, and it's the same thing we've heard, puckered up.
Yeah.
We're holding the money because we have a lot of borrowers who can't make their obligations. So he's telling us that a lot of these apartments are failing because they can't get the refi. And that's one of those big risks in business, right? Is that refi risk. And we are living it today. Now, so that, you keep talking, hey, there's a lot of commercial. That means you're going to have to run out there and still figure out the loan business. And it's hard. So we're locked in at 9%. And you look at the business, and we've got 3 that we're refining. And even if it's at 9%, they still make money. So that's how deep you had to buy these things. When we're talking, we've seen so many deals, and I want to get the B-man back in here to figure out where he's at, because he's got $50,000 out almost every deal that's ever come across in Houston, right? I'm just wondering, how many of them are working?
The rumor I heard, it wasn't from him, but a couple other folks, half are not.
Yeah.
50% right now of syndications are not doing well.
Yeah.
That's the rumor on the street we're hearing. Now, as taxes and insurance reset this year, I imagine that number is going to go up. I've got somebody send me one right now. 13% vacancy on actuals, 6.4 cap. And I'm like, I don't even think I can make that work.
No, it's going to have to be a 10 cap.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be a 10 cap. So, right. So I'm pretty sure I know who that is, right? So they're living last year.
Yeah.
It's like, no, guys, it's not 2022, it's 2023, and here's what we need. I need the stuff at a 10, 11 cap.
Yeah.
Thank God I got a whole bunch at a 10, 11 cap.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Everyone kept laughing. They're like, well, why don't you buy this? Why don't you buy that? And I'm like, I'm pretty safe at these 10 and 11 caps.
Yeah.
Like we've got, the amazing thing is they are break even or cash flow neutral at a really high double-digit interest rate. That's the amazing thing. Like
that is the sick thing.
It is sick at the same time.
It's absolutely sick. Yep.
They are almost at 50% vacancy. They are cash flowing at a ridiculously high double-digit interest rate.
So again, if hey, you got to come out to our 3 days. It's complete real estate. Go to mrtxrei.com, mrtxrei. But this is a reality that we're going to talk to you about. I'm going to do small apartments next week. We're going to have that reality. At our mastermind, here's the deal. You want to do small apartments? 10 cap. 10 cap. Oh, and then you know the refis on self storage. Yeah, it's even rougher than apartments.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because the self-storage guys will tell you this. Well, you know, it's a higher rent per square foot. That's why it's better in apartments. You have to deal with tenants and blah, blah, blah.
Tenants,
I'm like,
toilets, and termites.
I agree with that. Well, then why does it cost more to finance?
Right.
Because the cost of financing is directly related to risk. Yep. So why is it more risky to buy self-storage than it is an apartment?
Well, because self-storage is a commodity.
That is true.
That's right. Because very few apartment deals that we're doing right now do we have to give away 3 months free.
That's true.
Right?
That is true.
And then 50% off a renewal, and all, we're not making those deals.
I heard a real interesting conversation Friday about light industrial on a certain side of town. And one of our buddies said, they are building so much, I'm just trying to get mine rented out because they're about to be
oversaturated.
It's going to be way oversaturated.
Well, that's what happens, right? They'll build it, it'll be oversaturated, and they'll take 5 years to fill it up, and then it'll stabilize, and people will be like, "Oh, we should have did that."
Yeah, even though it's cash flow negative.
You got to carry it for 5 years. Yeah.
But in the end, it'll work out, right? They'll triple in price and all that stuff.
So I mean, we have a small self-storage unit we're going to actually do something with, but for me, when I look at those big guys who come through and are like, "Yeah, I've got 3,000 unit in St. Louis, all that stuff," and I'm like, God, I just see it as a commodity, because every time I look online, they're giving away 3 months or 50% off for the first 9 months, and I'm like, we don't do that in real estate. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us while we tweak Jason today. This is Robert and Jason with world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. Hang tight. Got a short message coming up, and hopefully we'll see you here at our building.